The first one was when I started my own band. I had been playing with traditional jazz groups as a side player. Stan Getz for 3 years, George Shearing for a year before that, but Stan was where I got enough visibility as a performer, because Stan was hugely popular in the 60s when I played with him, so that I was in a position to start my own band. And there I am, age 25, 24, 25, and I've quit Stan's band, and now what do I do? And the safe route would have been to hire, excellent musicians and keep on playing sort of the same style and way that I was playing at that time. But I looked at the audiences that came to see Stan. They were mostly in their 40s and 50s. And we played mostly clubs in large cities, and that was the audience that came. And I thought about it, and I said, well, by the time I'm 40 and 50, these people will be dead. I need to connect with people my own age, who I never saw coming to see Stan Getz. So I asked myself, well, I'm 24, what do I like? What do I find interesting and exciting? And right at that time, I had become a big Beatles fan. They were really new and different. They were playing lots of different styles of music, all on the same record. One track would be something with a sitar, the next one with a string quartet, the next piece a straight out rock and roll song, the next one something else, psychedelic, whatever. We never did that when recording. You'd make a record by taking a band and a certain style of music, and you did a whole record of it. So it was kind of the same through the whole record. I was fascinated with this eclecticism that they had. So I had the idea of combining rock and jazz, and I had no idea if people would like this or not. But it became something I just could feel, I could just imagine being just the right thing. And I searched around. I found a bass and drummer for the new band, but I still needed a guitar player, because I knew that I had to have guitar in order to, bring the rock element in. Couldn't be a trumpet or something. I needed a guitar. And as luck would have it, I went to a jam session one day in New York, and there was this guitar player named Larry Coryell, who was new in town from Seattle, and he had this rare, odd mixture. He was a jazz player, but he was making a living by playing in rock bands. So his jazz playing was strangely mixed together with all these rock licks and things. So I said, perfect, just what I'm looking for. Hired him to be in my band. And we started touring, started playing. I got gigs for the first year just based on my connections from working with Stan Getz. I knew club owners and concert bookers all across the country, and most of them said, hey, you got a new band? We'll give you a try. We'll book a week, come on out, and so on. So I managed to pretty much fill up the first year just calling in favors. And that gave me time for the new concept to get a hearing. And at first there were a lot of questions. What are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Even from a lot of people. Explain it. I would try to talk about younger people and other kinds of music and influences and things. But within a year or two, this trend had caught on, and more bands were starting to do it. And by the time 2 years had passed, even other major artists were going electric and bringing in rock influences and so on. So that launched my new group, sent the message that I was doing something new and different, and therefore was a force to be reckoned with, and really that was the first really huge turning point in my career. And it's the scariest moment for musicians is when you leave the comfort of a good paying sideman job and go out on your own. If you fail, you may be back in the sideman world for the next 5 or 10 years before you get another chance to do it. So that was a big one for me, and luckily it worked.